Hi, my name is Rafael Perez. I'm the Senior Business Development Director for Invest Puerto Rico. We are a nonprofit economic development organization focused on attracting jobs, capital to the island across a number of industries that we're very active on: life sciences, aerospace, advanced manufacturing, energy, and professional services. Puerto Rico is very well known for tourism but historically has been around for many years when it comes to manufacturing. We have a strong manufacturing clusters for over 60 years. We have a legacy of world-class institutions, pharma, medical device that's been around for decades. And it all stems from the talent, the university-based institutions that we have across the island. Manufacturing represents 50% of our GDP on the island. We export over $50 billion in pharma medical device. And that's been going on for many, many years now. Tourism only represents about 7% of our GDP, but we also have a growing professional services sector, tech ecosystem on the island that over the last 5 years has, from companies in the blockchain to fintech, artificial intelligence, and now also the aerospace industry that is now continues to grow and mature through design engineering and also manufacturing light composites to serve the aerospace industry and many more. If it's made in Puerto Rico, it's made in the USA. We operate under the same US jurisdiction, same federal laws, same currency, and we are US territory, right? There's a big difference there. Companies are treated as foreign entities where they get to expand, but also operate under same IP protection. We are attractive when it comes to local tax rates, benefits, incentives that we offer. We don't pay any federal corporate taxes. We have a local tax rate of 4% under our incentive called the Act 60. So yes, there are not too many differences except for some labor employment laws, but we operate just like under the same US laws. And also for visa, that's also operates under the same US framework. We are very excited to welcome companies like Sartorius, Lufthansa, even companies like Copan Industries. Sartorius being German-based and also Lufthansa. Sartorius has a for many decades now, recently they just expanded their pharma cell culture facility in Yauco, Puerto Rico. And we're very excited about that. They first started with the sterile bag manufacturing on the island, and they continue to grow. And I think what's very attractive for them in Puerto Rico was the talent base there, and the world-class institutions and the ecosystem that is there to produce more local talent and training them. Lufthansa Technique has their aerospace MRO on the western part of the island in Aguadilla. They're growing, they continue to grow, but also, again, part of the reason why they've chose Puerto Rico was also to tap into the talent pool in the island. We also are welcoming companies like Copan Industries, which is an Italian company that is also in the pharma space, and many others that are looking at us for several reasons, to look at their supply chain, to be closer to the U.S., to have a hub to serve both the U.S. mainland, but also places like Latin America. So companies like Sartorius, Lufthansa, Copan Industries, and others continue to look at us to expand, and we'll see that in the next couple of years as more reshoring supply chain starts to signal more stability across the U.S. and Puerto Rico being included in those conversations. I want to first start with our workforce. All right, we produce over 20,000 STEM graduates. We have over 80 universities, academic institutions across the island. We are great at producing manufacturing at scale. Talent being our biggest currency. We also have very attractive tax incentives, right? For machine equipment, job creation, cash grants that we offer, workforce training, and also, again, the local tax rate of 4% that is very competitive when you compare other U.S. mainland destinations that we compete with. So talent coupled with our smart incentives, and also the fact that we have IP protection. If you have companies that are also looking at having their back office operations and servicing clients that need to be operating on the U.S. jurisdiction, we use privacy laws. It's a great location to start your reshoring, nearshoring operations from Puerto Rico. Over the last 5 years, I mean, we've seen a growing ecosystem of incubators, accelerators in the tech space, like Parallel 18, Grupo Guayacán, and others. But recently, we had a Detroit-based defense manufacturing facility called Lyft that is looking to really advance like all these conversations about the CHIPS Act and some shit, producing the navigating the supply chain and also having to train workforce of the future, building on the Industry 4.0. We having a legacy of manufacturing already on the island. Having Lyft on the island actually really accelerates our workforce. In fact, we're actually looking to build our workforce for the next 50 years, for the next 10 years, to invest $50 million into really build on those digital technical skills that we need to be part of that conversation of the top 10 territories that are producing high workforce talent that have technology skills. And so having organizations like Lyft really puts us on the map, on the radar for also companies that are in the aerospace defense contracting business that really want to operate under U.S. territory, again, like Puerto Rico, with Lyft on board, also really solves a lot of these workforce training and really solving the gaps that are needed on the talent base. And as you know, workforce being a high demand now, it really puts us in a good position to, while the manufacturing business continues to grow, we also have a pipeline of talent that is being produced locally and also attracting those that are on the mainland that want to move back. It's very important for site selection on the island, and I'm going to say that again.
Yeah.
On the site selection process, I think it's very important to have the community involved. For companies, we are very good as Invest Puerto Rico. We are a resource. We provide data. We have access to real estate inventory across the island. Part of our service is to make sure that you have a smooth landing in Puerto Rico. So as you're going through a site selection process, we really encourage companies to look at us, come to us first. Even site selection consultants that have RFIs that want to have actual data, real-time data, but also as they're going through the site selection process, reach out to us to also connect them to the community, to the public and the private sector. I think it's important to also be get engaged with the municipalities, with the mayors. We have over 70 plus municipalities across the island. So having that municipality community support, and also it's all about relationship building on the island. So again, as you're doing your site selection evaluation, Invest Puerto Rico is the one-stop shop to make that easy for you when you look at several locations across the island. But I think it's important, again, having community involvement, having the private sector involved, the public sector involved, even engaging with other industry associations that could help you with navigating the ecosystem across the island. Best advice for Nordic region companies is come to Invest Puerto Rico first. We have a strong network across the island. We facilitate many introductions, right, to both the public and the private sector stakeholders that we work with day in, day out. We are here to be a resource. Best advice for companies is that you should look at Puerto Rico and as a place to do, look at Puerto Rico as a hub for your Caribbean headquarters to serve both the U.S. And Latin America and the rest of the world, to be quite honest with you. Also, look at it as a hub for your supply chain as well. Also, another advice that I would say is that if you have not been to Puerto Rico, I would encourage you to make that leap and do visit the island to get a better business perspective and engage again with the community, understand the ecosystem there, the market opportunities. Puerto Rico is an island with 3.2 million people. So it's important for you to build a good relationship, understand the culture there. The quality of life is stupendous, so I encourage you to make a trip there and see for yourself what is driving the ecosystem there on the energy side, on the manufacturing side, and just the entrepreneur spirit, game changers that are coming to the island to really drive the economy, make an impact, just like us at Invest Puerto Rico. And the last but not least that I would say is it's important to engage in a nonprofit economic development organization like Invest Puerto Rico through your due diligence from at an early phase. Because we could provide data, could provide market intelligence. We are facilitators, which is what we do day in, day out. Again, we're happy to help. Puerto Rico is going through an amazing transformation in the energy side. By 2050, we look to become 100% renewable. Our companies are becoming very resilient. In fact, they have invested, as you know, our manufacturing base represents 50% of our GDP. So it's important for them to become very resilient, just like the rest of the population. And so companies have added triple redundancy. They need to remain operating and investing into coal generation and other alternative resources for them to continue their operations 24/7, 365 days out of the week, out of the year. And so we have this resilient manufacturing ecosystem that is becoming a lot dependent on their own energy producing energy grid. And right now we are excited to be working very closely with the federal and FEMA to really boost the economy here and building and investing into our infrastructure, from roads to airports, really rebuilding. So for any companies out there that are in the energy space, there's tons of opportunities when it comes to solar manufacturing. Our Secretary Graham from the Biden administration was just recently there this week to really create awareness about our position here and during this climate crisis, I can imagine. But we really are optimistic about the energy, the future of the energy sector on the island. So we're very excited about that. And if you want to hear more, reach out to Invest Puerto Rico.